Welcome back to Cossy Arsenal Podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is your latest Arsenal news and transfer news. David RAYA has finally signed for Arsenal on a season-long loan deal with an option to make it permanent, and he has also signed a 2-year deal as a fullback position for Brentford should Arsenal decide against making the deal a permanent one. We're going to be diving into all the interviews and the explanation from Brentford. They have just made a very good, clear explanation of the situation, why it is a loan deal initially, and they do not actually expect to see him back at Brentford because they believe he's going to be a number one at Arsenal. Can you believe it? Shirt number 22 is what he's going to be putting on at Arsenal this campaign. I want your expectations of David RAYA right in the comment box below, because before today ends, I will have produced a video about my expectations of David RAYA. How about that? We're also going to be talking about Gabriel Magalhaes because the interest is now very serious, with Saudi Arabia tabling about 52 million euros in terms of a verbal offer, and still Real Madrid, who have lost Eder Militao to a long-term injury, are saying if Gabi is not playing, first team football at Arsenal, how about we take him to the Santiago Bernabeu? Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Let's get this video to 500 likes. I want your thoughts on Gabriel Magalhaes to Real Madrid. And 52 million pounds, is that enough for Gabi? Like I said, 70 plus, I would not take it, but Saudi Arabia think the guy is only 52, which actually gives us a slight edge in terms of Arsenal keeping him. Let's dive into these stories. Let's start off with that big story of David RAYA. Brentford have there confirmed that David RAYA has signed a new contract at the club and joins Arsenal on loan. So that is official on the website of Brentford. They've just said that goalkeeper David RAYA has joined Arsenal on a season-long loan deal with an option for the Gunners to make the transfer permanent. Before departing, RAYA signed a 2-year deal with Brentford with a club option for an additional 12 years. So literally, David RAYA has signed 3 more years of his contract before joining in at Arsenal. He signed 3 years, so he's a goalkeeper at Brentford for 3 more years, because, the option is for Brentford to extend an extra 12 months. So there are 3 years Brentford are owning the player unless Arsenal actually get this deal done on a permanent. Now, just to clarify, they have also said that we are sure the first question we will be asking is, why is this transfer being structured in a way that it is an initial loan deal? And of course, the chairman there has answered and said the answer is simply that it enables the deal to be done more rapidly between the clubs, with all parties wanting this deal to be permanent, a permanent transfer as soon as possible. We actually decided to do that, and we believe it will be a permanent one. Brentford are also saying that Davis' contract extension is a fallback position in the event that the transfer is not made permanent by Arsenal. But they're not expecting to see David RAYA back at Brentford, although if that ever happened, they would see it as an opportunity to work with such a high-class goalkeeper once again for 2 more years. Okay, interesting. Brentford, you've done very well there. So they've really explained, and I really loved it. I loved it because I wanted a clear explanation why this was actually a loan deal initially, and why did he sign 3 years before joining Arsenal on loan. So they've just made it clear they just wanted to make sure that the player is actually theirs, so that Arsenal cannot go, okay, we are not going to pay you until the end of the season, he becomes free, and then we take him. So even if Arsenal don't decide to buy him, he will not be a free player. He will actually stay a Brentford goalkeeper for an extra 2 more years. So the remaining year on his contract actually is what Arsenal have signed on loan, and the players then signed an extra 3 years. So Brentford are really clever. They've signed a very good fullback position right there. But why is it an initial loan deal? They've said so that they can actually, both parties can actually get the deal done a little bit quicker. And I actually believe them because Arsenal have signed David RAYA on an initial loan deal. We are going to test him. We're going to look at him. And within no time, in my opinion, this guy is going to be one of the untouchable players at Arsenal. And, you know, that contract, that clause in his contract that says at a certain at a certain amount of appearances, the goalkeeper should now be bought permanently. I think that will be activated. So there is a clause in his contract that says that if Arsenal play him for a certain number of games, then the obligation to buy, the option to buy, becomes an obligation to buy. And I don't think Arsenal really signing David Raya just to sit there on the bench and waste his talent. I really think Inaki Keina and Mikel Arteta are really knowing what they're doing, and they're absolutely cooking. Edu, on the signing of the player, of course, he always does an interview, doesn't he? He said, we welcome David Raya to Arsenal on a season-long loan deal from Brentford. That word really troubles me. David is a top quality goalkeeper who has consistently performed at a high level with Brentford in the Premier League. With David joining us, we are adding quality and depth to our squad so we can perform at the highest level in all competitions. That is true. Of all the things he has said, they're always scripted, but this one was a very good script from by Edu. Edu also says that as part of the agreement, there is an option to make the deal permanent. David Raya will wear shirt number 22, and everyone at Arsenal welcomes him to the club. The loan deal is subject to the completion of regulatory processes. You can buy the shirt number 22 from the Arsenal website down there below. So that is confirmed. David Raya, shirt number 22, new Arsenal goalkeeper on a loan deal, which can actually be made permanent very, very soon. Just a few quotes, one or two quotes from the player himself. One, about signing for Arsenal, he said, "I am over the moon to be able to make this challenge in my career and make this step up." He said after putting pen to paper, "I'm really excited to getting going and seeing how the season ends up. I spoke to the boss and he sent me the values of what Arsenal are all about. The way the club is going, it's growing even more so. It's a beautiful challenge, and to take it, I couldn't say no to Arsenal Football Club." He also says that I've seen Arsenal for a lot of years, and since Mikel Arteta came, he's made a massive difference to the style of play and to the club. The way the team plays out from the back, being confident and taking possession to the other team is the main thing why I fit into the team. I'm going to try and help as much as possible, and we will see what happens in the future. That is David Raya on his signing for Arsenal as a new goalkeeper. Couldn't send it to Arsenal. I think that is what every player said when they joined us this summer. Mikel Arteta, that guy has a lot of dictionaries in his living room, in his bedroom, in his kitchen, and wherever, because he really understands the art of communicating, persuasion, and locking cells. Like, this guy literally has talked to every player, and every player he's talked to has gone, "I want Arsenal only." I'm not really sure what he's telling them, so do not ask me. I'm not good at sales at all. The best thing I've done in my life is to propel this channel to you guys so that you can actually watch it. But I think it's a kind of a very good deal. It's a very good deal for Arsenal. And I said we should talk about Gabriel, but we're also going to talk about Raya, because it's a very smart move. But before we get into the David Raya one, Gabriel Magalhaes is wanted by Saudi Arabia. They're offering about 52 million euros, I think million pounds. Arsenal are not even interested. They're not listening at the moment, but the player's head could be turned, and they're also testing the resolve of Arsenal Football Club. Will we give in to the pressure? It's highly unlikely. However, there is a reason as to why a couple of clubs are attacking Gabriel Magalhaes. Now, the good thing is just renewed his contract with Arsenal, so there is no fear in that regard whatsoever. Madrid are also saying that they want him, as Eder Militao is going to be out for a very, very long period of time. I think he would work for Madrid. I would think he would really, really do very well at Madrid. Him, Rudiger, and Alaba as options as centre-back for Carlo Ancelotti, that would be some icing on the cake. But I don't think Arsenal are going to let him go. I don't think Arsenal have the liberty, the luxury to let him go. I don't think we do have. Probably earlier on in the summer, Arsenal would have, because you sell him for 70 million and you could sign Edmond Tapsoba maybe for what, 40, 50, and just make sure that you have that extra profit in your pocket. But now it's difficult. If Madrid want a centre back, they could sign Edmond Tapsoba, they could sign whoever is they could go to AC Milan and sign whoever is there. I just don't think Gabriel Magalhaes is the right target for any club, and I would be very surprised if Arsenal decided that this is the right time to sell. Why? Because it's not the right time to sell. I don't see it happen. But transfers are transfers, and Mikel said this transfer window is very unpredictable. Can you believe that I've just read somewhere that Alisson is wanted by Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, and the player could actually be keen on the move? Of course, I mean, if you're Alisson, you want to go and join up with Henderson and, all these guys, Fabinho, that have gone there. But I tell you what, Liverpool to lose Alisson, that would be crazy. That would make this the craziest transfer window Liverpool have ever had. Rejected by 2 of their prime targets in defensive midfield, losing 3 of their best players, and literally, yeah, it would be crazy. But let's talk about David Raya just for 1 more minute, and why I think this is actually a very genius move. So it's a good move because Arsenal literally can work with within the limits of FFP. Although many people are saying, Cossy, this is not about FFP. It is about FFP. There is no reason why you sign a guy that you've tracked for 3 years and you sign him on an initial loan deal, and then, at some point in time, it will be made permanent. So I think it's FFP related. And also because you look at our net spend this summer, we have spent £171 million net spend. That is incoming purchase, incoming revenue minus outgoing revenue. So we have spent more than we have earned, in this transfer window than we have made in sales. And I think Mikel Arteta has just gone, wait a minute, how about we put a pause onto that? But it's a good move because you're getting a high-class goalkeeper, one of the best in the league last campaign. He's not going to drop off. He's 27. He's getting better. Goalkeepers tend to get better with age. Yeah, and I think he's also a goalkeeper that is going to find a lot of confidence, especially if Spain call him up, right? So I think Arsenal have just done a very good one here. Even if it doesn't work out for the next 2 years, Raya could go and find a good deal, and Arsenal will still be on the winning side. So we have 2 goalkeepers each costing 30 and above million, and if Mikel Arteta can actually juggle them, it will be genius. It will be good. Raya signs for Arsenal, loan deal that will be extended. The personal terms have all been agreed for a 5-year deal. So David Raya for me is an Arsenal player, and I don't see him turn back to Brentford anytime soon. I'll see you right in the next one.